Alright, so I thought I'd give you all just a little tour of my practice instrument here. As you all know, I am an organist at a small Catholic parish down in Spotsylvania. Um, got hired in May with a two-manual Wix organ that has been rebuilt by Hamner Organs from down in Texas. So since it's a little further away from where I live currently, um, I figured it would be easier to get a practice instrument to do all my stuff at home without having to go all the way down there and do have to pay so much gas every week. So I still go down there once a week. But here's my practice instrument here. This is my Dexibell Classico L3. I got it a few months ago, and it's actually really nice. The great thing is that it's compatible with pedal board, as you can see down here, and it has quite a few features. There are some that are lacking on other instruments. First of all, you can't couple any of the stuff on the manuals to the pedal, so you're left with just what's on here. And there are a few different features. None of them I actually use. Right now I'm on Baroque. That's the default. Right here, I think this is mislabeled, but it's actually equal and not young 2. I think it's mislabeled, like I said. You also have a reverb knob, and you also have a type where it's kind of a preset thing. You can play back stuff you played, and you have a tone level which changes the brilliance of the quality of the sound. This Dexibell uses T12 modeling, which is sampling, which is pretty much on all digital organs these days. And it also has a few other settings here, what types of organ you want: classic, symphonic, romantic, positive, and you also have 2 other ones that you can actually download from online and have it installed in here, which I don't have anything right now. The only thing I think is downloadable is I think a harmonium or a reed organ, but I've never had a use for that, so I haven't done that. You got classic, symphonic, romantic, like I said, positive. Positive is actually manuals only. There's nothing on the pedal for the positive. Right now, I actually have it on Baroque because I believe Baroque has the best quality sound compared to the other ones on here. A lot more crisp, and there's a lot more has a nice, better sound to the pedal as well. And you also have a nice reed stop here for the pedal as well. I'm just going to go through the stops here. Like I said, let's start with pedal. Like I said, you can't couple anything on the manuals to the pedal, so you're just left with what's on here. So it's a practice instrument, you can't really do much. Before I do that, I'll show you all the pedals here. There's no light down here, so I can't really see. I can see fine with the lamp next to me. But this is the Nord Pedal QH27. It is not AGO standard. It is non-concave and non-radiant. It's all radiating. It's all straight, and the pedals are a little bit smaller than a typical AGO standard pedal board as well. They're shorter, but they're enough to actually fit my feet on here. I found that the sharps here are a little bit stiff, so that's kind of a disadvantage. It's hard to substitute my feet on the sharps when I'm playing hymns or whatever. It also has a expression pedal, which I really don't have a use for, because somehow it's I can't program it to actually do all the manuals. It only does manual 2. You can also do crescendo, which is the setting where you can have it so that it adds more stops to it as you're playing. The one I have now is basically adjusting the volume, but I don't use it at all because I just can't program it right for some reason. Another feature on this thing here is the memory system. You got 4 levels here, and you got 3 levels of memory. So 4 pistons and 3 levels of memory. So I currently use M2, memory 2. I have been using Romantic before, but right now I have Baroque on here because it sounds better to me. There's a lot more depth to the pedals, like I said. So right here we have a sub bass. This is basically what it sounds like. There's not really much, you know. And what I have found that it took me a while to actually get used to these pedals because there's a little bit more of a reach because they're not concave. So we also have the so that was a sub bass. We have the octave bass here, octave above that. And then we also have the Passon, which is the reed stop. And forgive me if I mispronounce that. And then basically there really isn't a way of saying greater pedal on here. So they basically have manual 1 and manual 2. So we have a 16-foot stop here. Kind of gives that kind of bass sound, especially on full organ. Principal 8-foot. Sorry, it's not easy doing it looking at a camera doing this. And then we have the roar flute, a lot softer. And then 4-foot octave. Super octave, 2-foot. And then we have mixture Roman numeral 4. Vox Humana, 8-foot. It's a reed stop. And then an interesting feature here, because it's a 1 manual instrument, it does have the capability of doing a split where you can do the solo part up here and have the left hand down here. So I don't really use that feature as much because it's just really not necessary. It would have been easier if they had a 2 manual instrument, but this will suffice for me. So moving on to manual 2, we have the Borden 8-foot. Kind of sounds similar to the roar flute. Solitional. And then we have the 4-foot flute, soft 4-foot. Then we have our mutation stops, the 2 2/3. This is what it sounds like with the principals on here. And then turn those off. And then the cornet uses five ranks of pipes, as you can say. And then with that, this is usually good for soloing out a melody. And then you have the trumpet here, 8 foot. It's a lot stronger reed. And another feature we have on here is the tremulant, which I don't use. Actually, tremulant is only controls as of now this manual here. Because if I do it with all the manuals, it doesn't have a very good sound, and it just has like a wah 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 sound, and I do not like that. But if you were, this is what it sounds like with just the manual 2 stops on with the tremulant. And you also do have a choice of choosing what speed of tremulant you want. But with the other manual activated here, it kind of sounds a little bit better. And of course, 0 here is the general cancel. Usually on typical organs, they're on the far right side. This is what I usually have on my settings here. That's kind of like the, let's say, kind of like an initial kind of registration I use, especially for introducing hymns. This one is very reedy sounding and also has the 60-foot board on the manual, and it kind of has that really nice rumbly sound. And I also have the Poisson here, 16-foot activated. And then number 3 is much softer. It's basically the same thing as number 1, but I have the super octave deactivated. So kind of a nice principally sound. And then of course, I would say this one's the full organ without the reeds. This includes the mixture. It does not include the 16-foot board. So that's the Baroque. I find it kind of difficult to try to figure out which stops I'm using if I use something else. The classic and symphonic don't really have, to me, don't have the very best sounds. So if I were to activate it, actually this one I believe has, let's see, I believe it has 2 mixture stops. And it doesn't really have much of a, you know. Anyway, romantic. I do have romantic on here. I like to use that one occasionally, but right now I like to use Baroque, like I said. There are also some other features. You can also do part of a orchestral kind of thing going on. Don't have a use for it. You have a choir here. And of course it's touch sensitive. So, softly. And then harpsichord. And of course I have the choir with that. And of course you have the piano. And I use that one occasionally as well. I have the damper pedal sitting to the side, and I just put it on the pedal board when I need to use it. So yeah, this is a pretty nice instrument. Used graduation money from when I graduated from college this year to purchase this nice instrument, and was about $2,500. I got it through Guitar Center. So it was nice because I got shipped to the store and they checked it on for us when I picked it up. It also has a really nice, whoops, don't want those there. Um, Plexiglass, I guess. Um, Music stand here. Very nice quality compared to my little Yamaha keyboard I used before I got this instrument. So it's very nice and quite a step up from what I used to have. So this is the Classico L3. I'm very satisfied with it so far, and it hasn't caused me any problems, which I'm glad. Same thing with the pedal board. Oh, also for the sound system I'm using, I do not like the sound of the internal speaker, so I actually used the Altic Lansing sound system for this keyboard. It has a very nice sound quality to it. I have the two speakers up on these shelves here, and hasn't given me any problems. I actually had it connected to my computer, and I decided why not use it for this very nice instrument. Fortunately, it gets really dusty, as you can see. So overall, not too bad of an instrument. I'm very impressed, and yeah. So that's the Dexibell Classico L3. Um, so I hope you enjoyed this little tour. Hopefully I'll be able to do a tour of the organ over at the church, Wicks organ, over at St. Matthew's. So whenever I get a chance, I'll be able to do that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.